the Jiggy Jaguar Experience starring comedian James Davis.
I gotta get that imaging fixed. James Davis did 2 shows. 2 of them. Then he quit. He got out of here. You're out of here. As they say. Get a hold of us online at JiggyJaguar.com. Thanks for joining us today. Lots of things happening. The Mix on Tuesdays, JiggyJaguar.com, all that stuff, all that fun stuff. So, let's do this. We are going to go to our brand new marketing partner, Transmedia Worldwide. It's called Focus. Yes, Focus. DrinkFocus.com, by the way, is the website. Let's just go to our next guest. I think we've got our next guest with us. Chris, how are you, sir?
What's up, G?
How are you?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Well, Chris, you are an amazing, amazing talent, my friend. Tell me a little bit about your background and everything that you do.
Well, thank you. But I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm a singer-songwriter based out of Memphis, Tennessee now. I was a naval officer at first, and I finished up my time in the Navy and pursuing music now full-time. Married, 3 beautiful kids, and just trying to make it a go at this industry.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have got a great, great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast, and just looking at your background and you just talking to us there, you're busier than a gerbil in a batting cage, my friend.
Man, our plate is full. I like it that way.
So, Memphis. Tell me a little bit about why you got down there to Memphis and everything.
Yeah, well, my wife was born and raised here. There's a lot of strategy for us coming to Memphis. It wasn't just kind of a place on the map for us. We have a great support group here, great community. I said my wife was born and raised here in Memphis, so that family village to launch a career like we're trying to launch was really helpful to have. So
that's awesome.
Not only was that a major stride for us, but Memphis just being outside of Nashville. I didn't want to go straight to Nashville. I didn't want to obviously jump in already late in the game a little bit in life and just to get totally kicked to the curb. And so I figured I'd try to win over Memphis and start in a smaller market and just get my feet wet and do it smartly. So I thought at least I could be 3 hours from Nashville, and I'm there once a month. I'm there a lot, and I like it that way. I kind of say I'm going to wait till Nashville calls me. I'm not going to waste my time.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. Because there are so many artists, and we talk to them on a regular basis who are like, I got to get down there. I got to get to Nashville. I got to do this. I got to do that. And bravo on your strategy, brother. I'm just going to make my own way and let them call me.
No, I've been totally blown away by the talent in Memphis. I think it's totally a blessing that we're here because I've just kind of stumbled upon some incredibly talented engineers, some writers. Yeah. We built a team here in the last couple of years that I just wouldn't have had in Memphis or in Nashville. I just think it's a different soul here in Memphis. People just do it because they want to do it. And I think Nashville's got great people for sure. But I just think it's a good speed to start out in. And not only that, but we just have stumbled into a great team that's really producing some great stuff. We're excited.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live. He's a Memphis-based artist. He is amazing. Chris Nurthen is with us today. Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about, I love the fact that you have a gimmick as well. Yeah, Sweet Nur. Tell us about this. This is awesome.
Well, Sweet Nur is a college nickname I had, and it was kind of like a locker room. My last name is Nurthen, Nurthen. So Nur was my brother and I's nickname. We both went to the same school, and I kind of became Sweet Nur. I don't know. It just kind of was coined as a nickname. So
that's awesome.
It kind of, as we grew up and evolved and started some business stuff, we just kind of became the brand name. Released some music back in college, first EP that we call, coined as Sweetener. So just stuck with it, and it kind of became a cool play on words for my last name, and also, I always say if your coffee tastes a little bitter, put some sweetener in it. It's
That's
just a little more
awesome.
sweetener in your life is good. So it worked out that way. It was marketable, and so yeah, we built a food truck out of a horse trailer, and we make something called iron pies. That's kind of our runway we give ourselves.
Wow.
And
awesome.
That's kind of been our platform for performing as well.
Well, that is pretty amazing. Now you do something that I find amazing, that this is a big thing. These house concerts.
Yeah.
These house shows. Tell me a little bit about some of the different things that you do with this, because I did not know that this was a thing until a few years ago when my buddy Bob Colliday was telling me, we're going to start doing these house shows, these house concerts.
Yeah.
And I find out that there's like a whole network. There's like an underground network of these house concerts. Explain to me what you do with this.
I think the essence of why it's such a thing is it's a very cost-effective way to market your music. And what a house show can bring you is an intimacy. Say you're in a living room or in someone's backyard. So you have an intimacy level that's kind of bar none elsewhere. And you also have a captive audience listening to your music. And it provides you this platform to share your stories personally, intimately. And I think while it may be a smaller crowd, I think it's a more effective, there's a more effective reach to them. And I just think what I do, I think the house show concept is no secret. We call them house shows. People call them house concerts. It's no secret in getting into the business. I knew this would be our way of getting our feet wet, because we're not going to have a rock club in Memphis called So I thought, I certainly believe in us, my wife and I, and what we can do, and I want people to know. So I was going to do house shows. And the way I wanted to do it uniquely was through our food truck. I wanted that to be our thing. Have you been to a Sweetener house show? And I hope people start to say that, and people have started to say that, because it's an experience. You eat our food, and I always say, like, if the music's okay, at least the iron pie is delicious. It makes it sound a little better when you're eating it.
That is awesome.
But
that
yeah,
is
I hope I
awesome.
answered your question there. But it's just a cost-effective way for people in the independent industry to market their music, and I think it's almost more effective than trying to scrap it with the booking agencies out there. And again, no shame on them. I don't have the clout right now to get their attention, so I got to do it my way.
Well, I think it is amazing that you are doing what you're doing, and you're approaching it from a different perspective. That's the one thing I love about independent musicians, is that you guys years and years ago did something that the political people and the sports people and everybody are starting to catch up with now. You guys did it first, in the fact that you're like, record labels, you can keep all your stuff. We're just going to go do our stuff over here and just make a success of it. I just think it's great.
I think a couple things happened there. I think the barrier to entry in the music world certainly went away, in terms of just there were ways we could get access to platforms that we couldn't have in the past. And so that really helped the independent artist go there. And then what we really have found is you really got to be an entrepreneurially minded person. I mean, these songs are a product, and it's my business I'm starting. And if you don't wear that hat as well, unfortunately, your music might not get heard. So you got to be smart. Especially me, I gotta be smart, because I got a family to feed, and we gotta.
Yep.
I have a lot of people to answer to, and I'm racing against the clock here. So we got to do this smartly. So if you don't have that business-minded mentality as an artist today, which it really is becoming a thing, it's almost a norm. I think a couple years ago, people were really edgy about it, but I think now people are catching on. And there's so many tools today with social media and everything, where you really can be effective, you can be legit, and you can, as long as you got the willpower to stay in it long enough, and you got good tunes, you got good product, you got a chance.
Well, I'll tell you, you're doing some amazing stuff, and in fact, and I will drop a phone number and an email address into this Skype chat after we get done with this interview, because There is a local venue here in Hutchinson, Kansas, and they're going to do a event in the fall called Guitars for Vets. Ooh. It's going to be sponsored by Guitar Talk magazine and a bunch of other things. And your food truck and the fact that you do what you do, I'm trying like crazy to get you booked on this show. So I just texted the owner while we were doing this here. So I'm gonna drop his phone number and information in the Skype window,
right on.
And I'm gonna have you follow up with him. And we're gonna make this happen somehow, some way.
Oh, you're not gonna get to hang out again? Are you gonna be there? Can I meet you in person?
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll bring Britannia. I'll bring the world famous Bob Hunter, my photographer. And if I can get out of the house with it, I'll even do the interview with you in my giant Mexican sombrero. We'll turn this into a whole circus.
That's good content. I like it.
So, how do people get your music and support you? How do we do this?
We're on all listening platforms. I only have one single out. I have my old college EP, which is awesome. I think it still holds. It's a great 4-song jam of some youth anthem stuff. But we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, you name it. How can you support us? I do have a Patreon that is still kind of early in its stages. It's out there. But sweetenermusic.com is where all these can be found and reached. And sure, we have merchandise if you guys, if people want to buy. But really, I care right now about exposure. If people do happen to hear this,
yes.
I would love to share my story. And I think I would love people to just listen, spin my tracks. We got a music song coming out tomorrow that I'm really proud of and happy to. We have a catalog of songs that I've written for the last 10 years that we're releasing over the next 12 months. So we've got about 30 or so songs categorized in some different concept EPs and singles. So we're trickling them out every month and just trying to take the next 12 months to expose those songs and build a following. So if people can just listen to this and hit a follow on Sweetener Music on Instagram, Sweetener Music on Facebook, follow us and just share it. I can't tell you enough how much this is the power of social media.
So what has that been like for you as far as social media and all that? Because I'll tell you that is a pretty big deal.
It's been effective, but I hate to say it. I'm as powerful as it is. It's also terribly saturated with just crap. And
you hit that on the you.
Yeah,
you ain't kidding about that, brother.
I try to be really quality over quantity. So from what we've put out there, we've gotten a great response. We have a decent following, but I think the next 12 months will be really telling because I feel like we've built up a big inventory of content we'll be releasing over the next, live performances and just a lot of good stuff that I think is quality. And I think that will help. I'll be able to answer your question 12 months from now when we're back on the show. Hopefully I'm selling out at least the Memphis venue.
Hey, I think that's great, brother. Well, we are going to do this. We are going to go to this latest track of yours. Tell me a little bit about Misunderstood. This is quite the tune. We're going to play it here in a few moments.
Misunderstood is, I basically describe it as when you were starting out and pursuing a dream, I'd say the steps you got to take in the early stages, especially when you have a family, it's kind of awkward when you got to do certain things. There's some sacrifices that have to be made. And people believe in us and believe in me, and there's no doubt about that. But I still think it just can be misperceived or can be misunderstood, the steps I'm taking, because they can't see what I see. I can't tell them to trust. I just tell them to trust me, and they do. But I still think it's hard to accept sometimes. And you got your haters out there, you got your naysayers, and you got people who just kind of tilt your head. That you can tell they're looking at you. And I was running one day, and this song, I wrote it in one jog because I just was angry. This is my song. This is my answer to the people that ask me why, or why would I do this, or why would I drop my naval career and drop everything pretty much with a family. And this is it. This is my answer. I'd rather be misunderstood than a boy who thought he could.
That's
but
awesome.
I didn't want to stay inside some guy that everyone tells you to be, but that's not really who I am. So I just went for it. That's what it's about.
Awesome. Well, we are going to do this. We are going to play the tune. Thanks for joining us, brother. And I just sent you information. So I would reach out to Jeffrey tomorrow sometime. And thanks for doing this, brother. And thanks for being on the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Jiggy. It's a real pleasure, and you're a great guy. I like what you're doing. And I hope you have us back. Hopefully we'll be in touch.
Definitely,
really
definitely. Well, keep me updated on the potential gig of getting you here to Hutchinson, Kansas. So
I will. I think my people have your people's info, so I'll certainly do that.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. Have yourself a blessed day, man.
All right. Do I stay on here, or do I want me to hang up?
You can hang up, brother. You're
All
good.
Right, you have a great weekend. Happy Memorial Day, my man.
Definitely. You too. Thank you for your service, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it. There he goes. The fantastic Sweetener, which, by the way, I love that. Sweetener is amazing. So let's do this. Let's go to this track. It is Misunderstood. And then we're going to go to our next guest here on our big program.
Decide to go to beg and borrow. What's so simple? Ain't the reason we're here to lift each other up. I get so beside myself, can't be good for my health. Mentally exhaust my brain trying to please somebody else. I'd rather be misunderstood than a boy who thought he could, but he stayed inside the body of the man they said it should be. My plans and my vision come together with precision, and I don't owe anyone a simple explanation. Get up, baby. Oh, get up, baby. No, I don't owe anyone a single explanation. You say there is way too much that I could lose. Well, look around, cause that will always be the truth. You can keep your suit and jacket and stability. Well, I sell mine and trust in my ability.